The top 7 mistakes that I used to do. And before I get into this video, hi, I'm Coach Ali. I have helped over hundreds of women get a more hourglass shape, get stronger, and feel super confident in their own skin. Now, I have also gone through my own journey over the past, I think it's been more than 8 years, and I have made all the mistakes that you can think of. So I'm going to get into the top 7 that I think are the mistakes that I used to do and have been able to now solve for. So I'm going to share that with you. So let's get into this video. So, number 1 is the perfectionistic mindset. I used to say, I'm a perfectionist, and this actually held me back from getting the result that I wanted because I had to wait for the right time, I had to wait for the right feeling and the right moment, and it just had to be right. But at the end of the day, like a lot of this journey is literally going to be a slog. Like it can be enjoyable and you can have an enjoyable experience once you let go of this perfectionistic mindset, but understanding that there's going to be like lots of mistakes, lots of failings, and you're just going to have a not so perfect journey. And once we realize that, and once I realized that, I got better results just adopting a growth mindset. So that is the first one. Now, the second mistake was not getting a coach soon enough. So I tried to go on my journey alone. So I really tried to DIY it. This was before I even became a coach or even thought I was going to become a coach. And I remember like doing YouTube videos and workouts, and then I'd go to I'd sign up to a gym, and then I wouldn't really get a coach because I thought it was too expensive. And I understand where I was at the time, and I was 18. I was 18 and I was spending money on literally like clothes, going out, eating, like festival tickets and alcohol. I was also smoking back then. So I had a lot of things that I didn't think were expensive, but in reality, it really didn't give any value in my life. And it didn't give me any return on investment. So, understanding at that point, once I realized, wow, I need a coach because I'm frustrated, I am overwhelmed, and I am just done with trying to do it on my own. And I need to humble myself and get some help. And it's hard because it's hard to reach out and say, hey, I need some help. But it takes courage to do that. And I'm glad that I did. And I'm glad that I invested myself into my very first coach back in 2015. So, number 3 is the lack of recovery tools. So, yes, you are going to train hard, but you have a lack of recovery tools in place. And what that means is I used to think that I had to train every single day in order to get results. But that is actually far from the truth, in that for you to get the results and then sustain the results, you need to be doing the training. So, yes, train hard, but you need to recover as well. And so, simple things such as rest days, sleep, nutrition, like protein intake, enough carbohydrates, enough fats as well, and then water intake, and then stress management, like having those in place is going to immensely change how your body looks and also how you feel as well. So that is number 3. Number 4, coming in at number 4, we have thinking soreness was what is going to get you results. So I remember back in the day, I would do workouts and I would think that being sore for the whole week was like progress. I'm like, yeah, making progress. But I wasn't making any progress because I was just losing muscle, or lack thereof muscle that I had at the time, because I was quite skinny. And then I also gained a lot of weight. So I was just losing weight, but I was losing muscle as well as fat. I was losing both. And I just remember thinking, like, yeah, soreness is key, but it's not. yes, to a degree, it has a part in it, but it's not the main driver in your result. Because you can get a massage and get sore, but it doesn't mean like your body's changing, it's just sore. So, understanding that soreness isn't the main driver of your results, it's going to be making sure you're training and progressively overloading. It's going to be your nutrition and making sure you're in a calorie deficit or your maintenance calories. That's going to be aligned with your goal of changing how your body looks. So, making sure that you're on track with the right measures rather than the wrong measures. Now, number 5 is the all or nothing thinking. And I remember back in the day, I would go into the mindset of like, okay, I'm going to do this diet and I'm going to do this strict. I'm going to stick to this meal plan and I'm going to not go out and eat and I'm going to be strict to the T. It would last for about a few days, if not like maybe 1 or 2 days if I was lucky. But I just for the life of me couldn't stick to it because I absolutely hated it. Like I hated having to eat kale because I didn't like kale at the time. I still kind of don't like kale's okay now, but like kale was part of the meal plan, and then like I would go out to socialize, but then what, I can't eat. Like it was very frustrating. Uh, and that's what the all or nothing thinking can do is yes, you'll get drastic results in the first few weeks if you were to do like I remember doing one of the popular like shakes. And again, like, yes, I dropped weight, but like I wasn't able to sustain that because I'm not going to be drinking those shakes every single week, month, year after year after year. Like, I no longer do that because it doesn't last very long and you're going to get the result, but you want to sustain the result. So it's something to keep in mind as you go through your journey. So, number 6 is not taking progress photos, not tracking your measurements, not tracking your food, and not tracking your training. And I understand that like it can be quite overwhelming at first, but with the right guidance, like you can honestly get better results through knowing exactly what you need to do and just following it through. So what I mean by that is like when I started doing check-ins with my coach, I started seeing more consistent and better results versus when I would randomly take photos and randomly take measurements. Like I would weigh myself in the morning on a Monday, and then I would weigh myself on like a Thursday night, or maybe I would weigh myself on the same day. Like it won't, the fact that your weight shifted and your sole focus was on the weight, which is a mistake that I did, was I focused on the weight so much that if it went down, I was excited. If it went up, I was in shock. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I gained fat. I might have ate that day. Like knowing that you need to make sure that you're following a proper system that allows you to get the results, but also maintain your sanity. Because if you're doing this randomly, like you're really going to stress yourself out and go through this like emotional, like big emotional roller coaster when you don't need to go through that. So that is number 6. Now, number 7 is not progressively overloading. So that is a technical word, I understand. So I'm going to kind of simplify it for you and just give you the part where it will be or make the most sense. So if you're following a program now, and you might be doing like one of the popular apps that are out there, and this goes more so for like the strength training stuff, not so much like the HIIT workouts, because the strength training and weight training is more my style, and I enjoy that rather than HIIT workouts. I remember doing HIIT workouts and thinking that was what will get me results, but like no, like that isn't the case. So not progressively overloading through making each week better. And what I mean by this would be okay, you might do leg press on in the 4 weeks. The first week you might do 30 kilos, and then the following week you might try to do 35 kilos, and then the following week you might try to do 40 kilos. But can you see how it's progressing? That's progressive overload. But a lot of us women, a lot of us ladies, and even myself, as I talk about these mistakes, I would do the same weight for months on end, and I wouldn't make any progress. And I'd wonder why I'm going to the gym, I'm not seeing any results. Why is that? It's because I'm not progressively overloading. Yes, you're following a program, but you're not executing it well. So your program needs to, yes, be catered to your goal of having a more hourglass shape. So that involves like, uh, training upper and lower body minimum of 2 times a week, like having those in place. But you actually need to execute it well by progressively overloading. So that simple example of the weight that you're using to increase, and it will vary from exercise to exercise. But for example, like upper body, you might only be able to go up by like 1 to 5 kilos, but for lower body exercise, you might go from um, like 2 to 5 kilos and be able to jump up that way. And it's more so just because, like, for example, like a bicep curl, if you're doing like a bicep curl, that you can't really go up in 5 kilo increments every single week. Like, wow. Uh, you can be doing 20 kilos by the end of your 4 weeks, compared to your lower body, where you can go up by those 5 kilos. You might do like leg press and you might go up by 5 kilos every week. Again, depends on the exercise, but not progressively overloading was a mistake that I was doing. And the years that I was doing this, essentially on my own, and also lack thereof training as well, uh, it really shows in your body if you're progressively overloading or not. So I wanted to add, if you've watched this all the way through, a bonus tip, or not tip, it's a mistake. My bonus mistake was that I was under eating. Yes, that links with the third one, but under eating is a very big thing in terms of like protein intake. And also through the day, like I wouldn't eat, and then at night I would like binge out on food. So I would eat essentially over my calories because I would eat high calorie foods. They're not bad, it's just easy to eat high calorie foods. So I would get like KFC, McDonald's, and I would have within like one meal my whole intake for the day, if not more. And that was a problem because my energy levels were low during the day, and then I would have the need to eat, and so I would. And then again, I would feel lethargic and gross. Uh, but it was because of my nutrition and my lack thereof nutrition. So that is the bonus one. And yes, if you have found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you want to follow me on other platforms, it would be on my Instagram, on Facebook as well, and obviously here on YouTube. And you can also go on LinkedIn as well. They're all Alison Sampana, and you'll be able to find me there. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you give this a thumbs up and also comment which uh, mistake you found the most useful so that you no longer have to do that mistake anymore. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.